So, Pastor James, to the women, what does godly pursuit really look like from a man? As a woman that's single, and she is at this place where, because even in the story of Boaz, there was a pursuit
for sure.
of Ruth.
Yeah,
what
for
does a
sure.
godly pursuit look like?
It looks like a man knowing what he wants. It looks like a man knowing who he is. It looks like a man knowing where he's going. Good morning.
So, Pastor James.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. I feel as though you and I, we've been together for 11 years.
Yeah.
Married for over 9 years. And so sometimes,
Hallelujah.
absolutely. Sometimes when we are in a place of being married and being in ministry, we often get removed from conversations that are happening in real time in culture.
Definitely.
And not the fact that we are ever called to be like culture, but many people that come to the church, they are in culture and they are making this transition, or maybe not even being in culture, they're just living life.
Yeah.
And there has been a resounding conversation that really caught me by surprise. I'm like, Lord, has it really gotten to this point?
Yeah.
But it has.
Yeah.
And so today's topic, which I think is going to be very interesting, people are having a debate about who's the prize in a relationship.
That's scary, babe.
See, the thing is, it's terrifying to me.
Yeah.
It's horrific to me because we've gotten to a place where the enemy has already set us up as opponents.
Yeah, for sure.
So when we're coming to a relationship, we are already being intertwined, or being in this place of already thinking that we're coming in against each other.
Yeah.
So I'm already coming in, not I, but people are already coming in trying to one-up each other and trying to be like, well, I'm the prize, you should be valuing me, or I don't want to say even worse because I don't think a woman should say it either, but we are now in a culture where men are saying like, listen, I'm the prize. There is no benefit to me getting married because the only people that benefit from marriage are women. So this is the topic today that we must dive into, because the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy.
Yeah.
And if I can still kill and destroy in a relationship early on, I will stop the plan of God and marriage in my life. It's these false narratives that are happening.
In your own words, babe, how did we get here? How did it
I know how we got. I really believe how we got here. I think for so long, people have been concerned with doing church rather than being the church. So what I'm saying this because if I am only coming to church, because these are people that are having these conversations, this is not even unbelievers. Some may be unbelievers, but it's also some believers. It's to the point where people aren't really at the place of really understanding what marriage is, what the unity is, what God has put together. People aren't really getting it. So we get to this point because now I get to form my own ideas. I get to live in my own selfishness. I get to live into my own desires of myself. And so now it starts making me think, well, you know what? If you get me, I'm the prize. I'm the one that you should be happy. I'm so serious. And I think when a man says this, which is really the common thing, I've been talking to a lot of single women that are struggling to be in relationships. There are so many memes and so many things on social media. I wish I would have sent you the one Corinne sent to me, where it is like now there has been this opposing place where men and women have switched, if we believe in certain gender roles. So you now have young women that are getting down on one knee asking men to marry them. I
see stuff like that.
You now see men sitting in the car while women are pumping gas. You now see men saying that I'm not taking a woman out on a date. We can go 50-50. There's so many things that have made us get to this point.
Let me ask you this. Are they calling that non-traditional relationships?
Absolutely. I'm going back to the reason I lost my train of thought for a second. But no. The reason why I think that we've gotten to this place, it is because people that are supposed to be shifting culture, we aren't having the type of conversations to prepare people for life. We're teaching them, which is great, all about Jesus. We're teaching them salvation. We're teaching them about the Holy Spirit. But nobody is really teaching people how to do life in a way where you really can have on earth as it is in heaven.
That's good.
We are no longer teaching people what it looks like life after divorce. We're not teaching people what it really means to be able to save your, like to protect your body. We've heard about the purity culture, but nobody really talked about the transfer, the transfer of spirits when I'm allowing somebody to enter into my body. We have been, this is the thing, we have been so busy talking about relationships vertically that there hasn't been a lot of conversation about relationships horizontally. And so we're now in a culture where people think like, I do whatever pleases me, whatever makes me happy, whatever makes me feel comfortable. And so we're now doing things to appease the flesh, and we don't care nothing about the spirit.
And man, this is it's something. Because the Bible says in Ephesians 5:28, it says these husbands ought to love their own wives as they love their own bodies. Right?
Yeah.
So, but the truth of the matter is, babe, you can't even get to marriage if the question is, am I the prize? You can't even get to marriage because it's a relationship issue.
Pastor James, you're right.
Yeah, and so the kicker with that is this. If I don't know the purpose of a relationship, I definitely don't know what the purpose of a marriage is.
Can we read the scripture in its entirety again, if y'all can put it on the screen?
Did you catch?
Because I want people to really be able to see this.
Ephesians 5:28 says, so husbands ought to love their own wives as they love their own bodies.
Yeah. Right? He who loves himself. It's the second part to that. He who loves himself. It's a demonstration of how he will love his wife.
Absolutely. And so therefore, like I was saying, we in the wife conversation. We're in the wife and husband conversation. But just
that was
honest,
the second part I was looking for. He who loves his wife loves himself.
And like I was saying, that's the husband and wife, that's the marriage conversation. But before we get to the marriage, we got to talk about the relationship conversation.
Right.
Because the truth of the matter is, if I don't like you, if we never get in a relationship, we never make it to 9 years.
You're right. You're right about that, sir.
Sense?
Yes, sir.
So if I come into the relationship ignorant of the purpose of the relationship, we can never give birth to marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so the first question I guess we need to start asking, because I don't think I think people come looking for relationships. I think people want to be in relationships, but I think probably 90% of the people that want to be in relationships never ask themselves this question. What's the purpose of it?
Right.
Because if I don't know the purpose of it, Miles Monroe said, I'm going to abuse it. Right? He says abnormal use is always abuse. So this means that if I abnormally use it because I don't know or because I don't have the intentions, then that means that I'm building a toxic or dysfunctional relationship. And watch this, if it make it to marriage, it's definitely going to be 10 times worse.
Right.
So I guess the first question we got to go into is, like, even before we talk about who's the prize, I think the first question we need to know is, what's the purpose?
So, Pastor James, I feel like once we go into the purpose, I think that's powerful, but I got a question for you.
Okay.
Do you even think that there is such a thing called a prize in a relationship?
No. So check this out. This is what I believe. I believe that you and I are a part of the prize.
Okay.
I think the prize is oneness.
Unity. Yes, yes, yes.
Right? Watch this. The Bible says, for this cause shall a man leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one. May I submit to you biblically, you cannot command the blessing from heaven if you're not in oneness. The pews in the pulpit have to be in oneness.
Yes.
The team and the coach has to be in oneness. The employer and the employee have to be in oneness about what the purpose, about what the mission and the vision of the company is in order for us to advance it.
Right.
So if we're not in oneness of the purpose of the relationship, then this means that the prize, the overall prize, cannot fall fresh on you or I.
That's so good.
Am I making any sense?
That's so good.
So here's the kicker. Here's the truth of the matter. I bring a part to something, the relationship. If I come in the relationship saying I'm the prize, I'm coming in the relationship saying serve me. I'm coming in the relationship saying you better honor me. I'm coming in the relationship saying I'm over you. So when I say I'm the prize, I'm devaluing
Yes.
the partner that come in. Am I making any sense? And so nobody want to be connected to nobody where there is not an equal level of respect,
Yes.
honor, love, and teamwork
Right.
that's moving in our relationship.
Right.
Am I making any sense?
Yeah, you are.
So in all actuality, the question is divisive. The question all by itself, who's the prize?
Right.
That's divisive in nature all by itself. Because we're not thinking in terms of that when the two become one, we become a team.
So good. So good.
Am I making any sense?
So
We're
good.
not thinking in terms of that when the two becomes one, we're not fighting against each other. We fight as one.
Yes. Yes.
Am I making any sense? And so the enemy comes just to pose a question. The same way he came into the Garden of Eden, he didn't just take Adam and Eve's identity. He submitted them a question. He gave them a suggestion.
Yep.
Am I making sense?
Yeah.
So in other words, if that's the case, how he did it then, when you start a relationship, look what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's just starting a relationship with a divisive question.
Yeah.
And if you feed into it, then get connected to somebody, you're already off the rhythm and the flow of oneness. So the two can never become one, and you can never command a blessing from God. Why? Simply because you coming in it saying, I'm here and you're here.
So we've already established that the prize is not a person.
Yeah.
The prize is actually the purpose of the marriage and for us to be in unity with one another.
The prize is oneness.
The oneness.
Yeah.
And so, Pastor James, how does this, because what you just said about how it's already divisiveness when you start asking these questions, what happens when you have a person that has achieved a lot of success, that has the accolades, that has planned this life for themselves. And so now they're feeling like they're this good catch. And so we may not call themselves the prize, but they may be like, I am a good catch for someone. How do you distinguish the difference between being confident in my success, but still being humble enough where I'm not going into a relationship thinking like I'm here and you're there?
Yeah, I think the first thing you got to start off at is this. Yes, I'm strong, but I'm still by myself.
I don't know if y'all caught that's good.
I don't know if they caught it either.
It took a second to register. Yeah, you all that, but you by yourself.
I'm a monster.
Yeah.
But I'm by myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And since I'm by myself, I can only chase 1,000 a flight. But when I get with somebody else, I can put 10,000 a flight. So in other words, like Neo said, I'm a movement by myself.
Yeah.
But I'm a force when we together.
And I can't stand him right now either, because
Right.
he believes in polygamy.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I got
yeah.
you. But the song that he said was good.
And in all actuality, being by yourself, you limit yourself.
Yeah.
Being by yourself, you limit your potential. Being by yourself, you limit the overall vision and the big picture of where God wants you to go.
Right.
That don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Right? And watch this. Men of God who on the rhythm of the Holy Spirit, they know that. Single men of God, right now, there's visionaries, there's burden carriers that's about to build something. They know that.
Right.
And you know what they saying in their heart? Man, if they single and they know they got building and they know God is in them and they're being called to affect life in a whole nother way, you know what they saying? I'm looking for my good thing.
Right.
I got to find my good thing. I'm making sense?
Right.
That's the reason why Andrew stood up here with us and he said, by the end of the year, I'm going to be engaged.
Not only Andrew said it, Bishop Senegal said it too.
Same
We
thing.
had two men of God that
Right.
said the same thing. So let me ask you real
They
quick.
ain't thinking in terms about them being the prize.
Let me ask you again, because you're talking about mature men, because we talk about this a lot of these conversations.
This is a platform
That
of maturity.
culture is entertaining. It's coming from a very immature place.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to ask you this, then I'm going to pose the question also to myself.
Okay.
What are the benefits for men being married?
Oh,
Just give us a few, because that's what culture is telling us now. Nobody benefits from it.
The number one, the blessing of the Lord.
Okay.
The blessing of the Lord that maketh rich and addeth no sorrow with it. Right off the top, he who findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtain favor. The next thing is, what I appreciate about our marriage is, you get an opportunity to see my blind spots.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, that's good.
This ain't for everybody, but for some people that just so caught up in themselves, think that that your stuff don't stink, so to speak.
Yeah.
Think you don't make no mistakes or whatsoever. you get the opportunity to see my blind spots. Because transformation and growth is my heart. Like, I can't see every single place where I'm weak or where I'm lacking. But you in the rear view. I mean, you're not in the rear view, but
I get to see from a
you get to
distance.
see
Yeah, I
it
get
from
to
a
see
whole
you.
nother place,
Right.
right? And so, because I know you love me, I give you an opportunity to show me what's blind.
Yeah.
And making sense. You open my eyes to some stuff.
Right.
Right? And number 3, what's the next one? Loyalty. A commitment to relationship. Honor. Reputation.
Yeah.
My mind
Reputation.
going somewhere.
Yeah.
My mind going somewhere. I was when I got when I got the mind that when I got the thought that we're about to talk about, am I the prize? I immediately started surveying my mind biblically for me, right? And I said, what is a great illustration of this conversation? And believe it or not, the story about Ruth and Naomi, Boaz. Do y'all know the story?
Yeah.
Okay, based on the question that you just asked me, Boaz was all world. Meaning Boaz was so wealthy that in the eyes of everybody else, Boaz really didn't need no wife.
Right.
He was good. Boaz owned half of the city, right? So Ruth is with Naomi in the city of Moab, and when a famine hits the land, her husband dies, and then her 2 sons dies, and her 2 daughter-in-laws with her, they've lost their husbands. She's lost her husband,
Sons, yeah.
her husband and sons,
right.
and all they have in common is death.
Right.
Only thing they all got in common is death. There's a famine in the land where she's from that it hit, and now the famine has erupted, and all this death is happening in Moab. So she said, I'm going back home.
Right.
When she says I'm going back home, she got 2 daughter-in-laws with her at this time, and they are young, and so they said, and she says to her, I'm bitter and my life is over. I'm going back home so that when I die, I'm going to die in my land. Y'all shouldn't stay. Y'all shouldn't go with me.
Right.
Whatever you do, go back and then just start your whole nother life. Get with your Moabitess people, and you can just turn the life around. You can just start all over and go new. One kissed her and said bye. The other one said, whoever your God is, that's going to be my God. Whoever your people is, that's going to be my people. Wherever you live, that's where I'm going to live. Whoever you die, that's where I'm going to be buried at too. She began to show a commitment to a relationship that she didn't have to show.
Yeah.
She like, no matter what we are going through, you my mother-in-law, and this is bigger than anything else, I'm staying with you.
Right.
You too old to work for yourself, so I'm going to go back with you. I'm going to work with you. I'm going to do all this. She has a commitment to relationship. She gets back to Bethlehem, Judah. When they get back there, now she got to go to work. She goes to a farm to walk behind the people who are harvesting and gleaning, and she got to get the leftovers in order for them to eat, right? So she's showing that not only am I loyal, I'm a workaholic.
Right.
I'm
going to work. Yeah.
I'm going to work. Watch this. She get behind the people, and she's getting the leftovers, and she gets recognized by the man who owns the entire field.
Brother
He
Boaz.
says, who in the world is
Yep.
that? They say, that's the woman that just came back with Naomi, and she's taking care of Naomi. And he said, boom, oh, I've heard about her reputation.
Yeah.
I see she's loyal. I see she's out here like a hard worker. He walks up to her and say, I've commissioned everybody in this field to give you favor as you are working to try to make sure that you and your mom eat.
Right.
Right? Watch this. She do this all day, and she go home and she get excited. She tell Naomi, she like, I found a place and we're going to be able to have food for the rest of this season. Everything is good. She was like, okay, whose field was it? It was Boaz. She said, do you know that's our kinsman redeemer?
Yeah.
Meaning that in those times that he was one of the ones in the family line that could redeem her right then. If he couldn't redeem her, then she couldn't have a husband, period. She would be single for the rest of her life. Are you with me?
Yeah.
She goes to the right place at the right time. Watch this. But he saw something.
Right.
He didn't have to choose her, but he saw something. He saw a commitment to relationship. He saw loyalty. And when she walked up to him, when he walked up to her and told her what he could do, you know what she did? She dropped to her knees and she honored him because he gave her an opportunity to glean and get food when he didn't have to.
Wow.
So he said this, she's a woman of honor. Mm-hmm. She has a reputation. She's a woman of commitment. She's a woman of loyalty. And this is what he said. Because I see what she's bringing to the table. That's the prize.
My God, my God.
Am I making any sense?
Yeah, what she brought to the table.
What she bring to the table and who she is and how she manifests us. He says this is the type of woman I need.
Right.
Am I making sense?
While she was working.
While she's working, while she's an honorable woman, while she's loyal, he got the opportunity to see her and she wasn't auditioning.
Right. Yeah.
She was being who she is in life.
Yeah.
And watch this, his eyes was open
because
he's a single man. And the Bible don't say he looking for a wife.
Right.
He ain't really looking. But the Bible says you findeth a wife. That word findeth literally means stumble upon.
Wow. My God, my God.
Go look up that word in the Hebrew right now. That word findeth. It don't mean he's going looking.
Wow.
The Bible literally means, that word literally means to stumble upon. In other words, Boaz stumbled upon loyalty.
Yeah.
He stumbled upon.
But this is the beautiful part.
Let me stop.
Had she not been in position doing what she was doing and just living life, it would have never been something for him to stumble upon.
If she wouldn't have just been demonstrating the part of the prize that she played.
Right.
She was bringing the part of the prize, babe.
But you know, it makes me think about the first part of the scripture. He who finds a wife. So if you are stumbling upon a wife, that means you have to be a woman that's already in the position to be a wife. I'm not getting myself together. It's not he who finds a woman who's preparing herself to be a wife.
This blessing me.
It literally means that he stumbled upon a woman that was already being a wife. That means I don't wait to become a wife when I meet a man. It means that I'm already living in those characteristics. My loyalty is intact. My commitment is intact. My work ethic is intact. Because he who finds a wife, he who stumbles upon me already found me in my position, in my own identity.
He stumbled upon her, and he knew this. If I get with her, what I bring to the table,
my God,
and what she brings to the table is unstoppable.
Yeah, that's good.
Am I making any sense? Am I making any sense? Here comes the beauty of the story that nobody talk about. Naomi, when she came back, she said, "Don't call me Naomi anymore. Call me Mara, because the Lord has dealt bitterly with me." So she was angry. Yep. She was mean. She was frustrated, watch this, with God. Mm-hmm. Can I tell y'all that she didn't know it was already in the plan of God to restore her? My God. What do you mean, Pastor James? This is what don't nobody talk about. Nobody talks about that he hurry up and redeem her the next day. Let me tell y'all about this part of the story. I'm so sorry. This is so good to me. Just listen. This is what happened. He went to a person that was ahead of him in the kinsman redeemer, and he says this: you can redeem the land from Elimelech, Mahlon, and Chilion, right? And if you redeem the land, you can have the land. The cousin said this: oh yeah, I want the land. Right. Then Boaz said, no, listen to me. If you redeem the land, you got to have a woman too. Because her name, the name of Elimelech and Mahlon and Chilion has to keep on going. And he said, no, that's going to mess up my estate, and that's going to mess up my plans with all my family. I can't bring her in. You can have the land and have her too. Mm-hmm. Boaz say, thank you. Boaz had saw something that he couldn't see. My God. Boaz had experienced something that he didn't experience. Boaz had an encounter with something that he never had an encounter with. Boaz had an encounter with loyalty. Right. Honor, commitment, and reputation. The other cousin didn't. He didn't even know what he was missing out on. He chose the land.
Yeah, but didn't want the woman.
But he didn't want the woman because he's saying this: I already got my estate and all my kids. He didn't want this type of prize.
Boaz saw the benefit. And so that was the question in the beginning. What are the benefits? If you are a mature man and you can recognize the benefits, we wouldn't be having these types of conversations.
So watch this. Here it comes right here. Here it comes right here. He redeems her that day. And the Bible says that he went into her that night. Mm-hmm. She got pregnant that night. And she produced a son. And guess who the son was for? the son just wasn't for them two.
My God.
The son was for Naomi.
Yeah.
Because she had felt like the Lord had dealt bitterly with her.
Right.
And the son's name was Obed. Do you know who Obed is? Obed is the grandfather. He's the son. He's the father of Jesse and the grandfather of David.
Yes,
so
sir.
now that the lineage of Obed, Ruth, all them can go all the way from Ruth all the way to Christ.
My God, my God.
Am I making any
my
sense?
God.
Am I making any sense? So the throne of David will have no end.
Yes.
The throne of David will not have no end. Watch this. David came from Jesse. Jesse came from Obed. Obed came from Ruth.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Boaz, the kinsman redeemer.
My God.
Am I making sense? So in other words, Naomi, you thought your name was gone.
Yeah.
I restored not only your name, but I restored the Bible says that she lived longer because of the vibrancy of the baby.
My God, my God. Which goes.
We got all the way off, didn't we?
No, we're back. But it's really the benefits of what is the benefits for a man being in position to be able to meet a woman, because that's what society is trying to make us not believe, that there are any benefits to being able to be in oneness and in unity with someone. And so even while you're telling the story with a woman, when I meet my Boaz, you position me in a way that I would not be who I am today, you all, had I not met Pastor James. You begin to see who I am, and you begin to say, how can I go in and cultivate her? How can I make her better? How can I get those gifts that are dormant inside of her? How can I bring up her confidence and allow her to be able to express who she really is? When you are dating a man and you are finally saying that this man is my husband, who God has called me to be, ask yourself, what is he bringing out of you? Is he making you better than who you were before you met him? There it goes. And so with that being said, the benefits for me is that he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Yeah. I get to be my greatest expression of favor because I get to help birth what God has given you. So when you begin to lead and when you begin to cast vision, I get to be able to say, well, if I'm favored, God, show me how you've given him this vision. Now show me how I add my favor to it. Show me how I add my ideas. How do I be able to birth what he's seeing? How do I make it better? So when you're looking at a blind spot, you're telling me, Tiffany, this is what I see. Ladies, not only do I get to become his blind spot, I get to become the discernment for the people that are around you, you don't get to be able to see who who they really are. I'm telling you all, when you really become one with someone and you love them deeply, I know when my husband is around somebody that does not love him. Because I love you, I can pick up on traits when people don't really love you. The same way
even
you
when
talk
I can't
when
see
you
it.
Can't see it. My God.
When I don't know it.
There has been, I'm being honest, throughout our times together, nothing catches me by surprise when it comes to Pastor James. I will always tell him, and because he has this great big old heart, and it's not out of suspicion, but when you were talking last Sunday about many of us don't really want the heart of God, we want the hand of God. Because I've never wanted your hand before I wanted your heart, I'm very aware when somebody is coming not for your heart, but coming after your hand. And so you know that when you really love somebody, you can be around them, and vice versa. You get to be my protector. There are things that I don't have to worry about because I can fall all the way back into you, and you get to protect me. You get to be my provider. Hallelujah. When things are going in a way and I'm like, okay, we need this, this, and this, what I'll do, I'll text you like, hey, we need this, make this deposit. It's the point of it is so many benefits to it. Sure. And the enemy tries to make us feel like it's just so hard. It's not real hard when you literally have made an oath to someone, because I want to see the best come out of you. And when the best comes out of you, the best comes out of me. So my next question to you.
So before you get that question, you just revealed to the people the purpose of a relationship. I just don't know if we called it. Right. But let me open your eyes if you didn't catch it. See, because like we say, you can't get to marriage until you can first get into a relationship. Yeah. And the relationship need to be healthy. It need to be whole. It need to be strong. It need to be full of vision. It need to be going somewhere. Are you with me?
Right.
So you basically said that the purpose of a relationship is for two people to bring the best out of each other.
Yes.
And in order for two people to bring the best out of each other, they got to have tools to bring the best out of each other. They got to have an appetite to want to bring the best out of each other. Because you got people that want to get in relationships, but they don't care nothing about bringing the best out of somebody else. Because in their mind, I'm getting in this because it's about me and what you can do for me and how you can benefit me. It's not about what I can bring to it to add value to our oneness so that the blessing can reign in a whole nother way.
Can I tell you why I'm so busy trying to bring the best out in you? Because we on the same team. This is the thing. We aren't opponents. We aren't fighting against one another. If I bring out the best out in you, then it benefits me. If you bring out the best out in me, then it benefits you. The goal is us. The goal isn't me. The goal isn't you. The goal is us. We have so many people where we have not allowed the goal. The prize is you and I coming together to become, to build, and to bless. And so if I can keep in the forefront that the purpose of marriage is for us to build, to become, to build, and to bless, then at that point, I've got to bring the best out in you.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Because if I don't bring the best out in you, you know what happens? You become too heavy for me.
Yeah.
It becomes to the point where if I'm constantly at a place and I can't bring out the best in you and it's constantly all about me, what I'm really telling you is to build me up because I'm designed to carry this all. But when I'm looking at you and I'm saying, no, I need you to be able to match me or me to be able to match you, it's because I'm really looking at you that we are on the same team. Yeah. When you come into your full identity as a man, when I come into my full identity as a woman, when I bring out the best in you and you see the best things in me or you see my blind spots or you see the areas that I'm not aware of, we are building us.
Absolutely.
And so because we're building us, then God can command a blessing.
Ladies and gentlemen, pursue, to the single people, pursue someone who sees it like this.
My God.
Because if you see it like this and they don't see it like this, I can promise you, you're going to move into a disaster of bondage.
Pastor James, testimony time. I've never shared this testimony, and I was wondering when I ever would. You all listen and hear me clear. I know this by the way of the Holy Spirit. The enemy will try to bring people in that will make you want to water down your spouse or to make you be suspicious of your spouse. Years ago, Pastor James and I knew someone, and it was a woman that was really deep in ministry. Yeah. She had been hurt by a man, and so she had a very bitter approach to life, meaning that sometimes it's interesting because in culture, we are so used to being raised by women that the voice of a man can become offensive when a man is telling you the truth. Because I can tell you the truth and you may hear it in a higher octave because it's coming from my voice. But if Pastor James tells the truth, it's coming in a lower octave and it may sound more, I don't want to say abrasive, but it's coming from a man. And so the enemy comes in to kill, steal, and destroy. So we had a lady come over to the house. And we were having a time. She came to our home. This is why we don't entertain the saints at the house a lot anymore. So one of the reasons. So she came to our home, and you all know, like I just said, my husband has been cultivating me. He's been bringing out things that are dormant in me. We had a very powerful Sunday that particular time, and God had used me in a mighty way because my husband pushes me to the forefront. While we were there, Pastor James was off to the side. The woman pulled me over to the side and says, Tiffany, I heard from God and I have a word for you. She starts telling me, God is going to use you in a mighty way. He is going to put you in front of thousands and thousands of women. And what's going to happen is your husband is going to start looking at you and he's going to start resenting the calling that is on your life. And in many ways, he's going to be envious and jealous of you. This is her telling me this. So I want you to know that you've got to move in boldness and not let him come in and try to dim your light. Now listen, as she's telling me this word, it is coming from her bitter place. It is coming from her broken place. It is coming from a place from what a man did to her. So as soon as she tells me this, I'm so caught off guard. I look at her and I don't even know what I said in the moment. This is early on in ministry. I'm just now really getting my balance, trying to understand. You all, so after that, she told me that when they were getting ready to leave, they left the house And immediately, they were still in the driveway backing out.
The seed couldn't
I
even take
said,
root.
Pastor James, I said, no, I said, James, you and I got to talk now. Let me tell you what Sister So-and-so said and what she said, what's going to happen. In that very moment, because I understand oneness, because I understand the unity, because I understand that I'm not going to let some woman come in and plant a negative seed in me about my husband, immediately we started rebuking that. And so after that, I ended up calling her a few days later, and I said, I got to talk to you. Do you know that I am who I am today because of my husband? Do you understand the giftings and the calling that I am walking in today is because of my husband? Do you understand the platform that I am standing on today is because of my husband? And I went on to tell her, you don't ever tell a wife something that can go against her husband, that can come in and divide the household. By the time I finished with her, she apologized to me and said, I'm so sorry. I did not understand because I was seeing this through the lenses as a single woman and did not really understand what was going on in marriage. But in that moment, I said, would it have been had I kept that word, hid that word, meditated on that word,
That's what happens,
allowed
though.
that word to take root? Then I would have become an opponent to you in our marriage. Then at that moment, I would have been in a place where it would not have been where you would have been a safe place anymore. You've got to make it a point that you cannot see your spouse as the opponent. You all are on a team. So whenever there is someone that comes to break up the team, that breaks up the union, they are coming from the pits of hell. And it's not the person, it's the spirit that's on the person that never got. She wasn't a healed woman. She was talking to me and she meant well, but her spiritual advice was coming from a very, very broken and crushed place.
Whew.
Yeah.
What do I move from here?
But in that moment, Pastor James, had I taken on that I'm the prize, and that's right, God is flowing in me, and God is moving in me. Had I taken on that position, rather than coming to you as your wife saying, babe, there's somebody that's trying to divide us. Babe, there's somebody that is trying to tell me things that go against your character. What she did not know is that I'm walking with a man who's better to me in private than what he is to me in public. So you can't really tell me something about him because I know him. And so many of us haven't taken the times to know our spouses. There is so much adoration, honor, and respect that I have for my husband, and it has nothing to do with a platform. It has nothing to do with you being Pastor James or you being an apostle. It has everything to do with you being a man and how you have loved me so right as your wife. That matters, because this is what I do know. When a woman is not loved properly, that type of conversation can come in and infect her.
You know what would have happened? You know what would have happened? This for the married people. Let's cross over. You know what would have happened? You would have kept that secret.
Oh, absolutely.
And when you kept that secret in your heart, it would have started germinating, and the division would have begun to start within you to pull you away from me, and then she's feeling like that y'all friends or whatsoever,
and
so you detaching from me and attaching to the word. This is the reason why you gotta, I'm going somewhere. For every person that steps into this charismatic vein, you gotta understand when a person say they're a prophet. You got to understand how to test the spirit.
By the spirit.
Let me get out of that. Let me
Can
get
I tell
out of
you
that.
something
Let me get
else,
out of that.
Pastor James?
Because
I got to just say this real quick. If you're talking about a man of God, make sure that he's more in love with you than he is with the title. If you're talking about a woman of God, I'm more in love with being your wife than anybody ever calling me pastor or first lady. If this church never existed, I am so in love with you. I'm not deeply in love with what God has called you to build. I help you build it. But if God called you to be an astronaut, I'd be looking for us some spacesuits.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, I'm not so in love with the calling that I'm not in love with the man. It's whatever the call that God has for you, that's what I'm signing up for. But if I was so receptive to being a prophetess, if I was so receptive to being a pastor or a prayer warrior or a first lady, I would have held on to that word. I would have held on to the word, because that word, I would have been in love with the calling and the name that was on my life, rather than just being called to, I'm okay with being a daughter of God.
Of who you are.
Exactly. And so you don't have to call me anything. But people are so busy looking for somebody to affirm the title or to affirm what God has called them to do, my first ministry is to my husband. Like, I love y'all, but this is my first priority. So it's a dangerous situation when we start looking at conversations about who's the prize.
Yeah.
If it's not the unity, if it's not
It's
the
divisive.
oneness, the enemy will let anything be the prize. He'll let the prize be what y'all call me at church. He'll let the prize be the gifting and the calling that's on my life, rather than being in oneness.
Because the prize is when we get together in one and we go to God in prayer.
Yes.
Because we are in one, we are in oneness. Man, the windows of heaven opens and he pours out the blessing that we don't have room enough to receive.
Yes.
So may I submit to you, what the enemy is after, he's not necessarily after you. He's after your heart of not becoming one with the person that God has placed in your life.
Yes.
Am I making any sense? So by any means necessary, you got to put on the full armor of
My God.
God to be able to fight against the divisive things that the enemy brings to stop oneness.
My God.
And one more time, if they're not thinking like this, move on.
Right.
Move on, right? The first thing you need to know is what do you think about team?
Yeah.
What do you think about oneness?
Right.
When you start hearing that conversation about somebody being the prize, you already know that's an exit coming out.
Right.
Because if you put the prize on you and you don't put the prize on the mission that is bigger than you, the marriage is bigger than me.
Yes, sir.
The marriage is bigger than you. Why? Because it's God ordained and it's the cause.
Yeah.
May I submit to you, people don't follow people, they follow a cause.
Ooh, my God.
Am I making sense?
Yes.
So it's the cause. Why did God put us together? To become,
Yeah.
to build, to bless. So that our union can reflect heaven on earth and it can be the hands and feet of Jesus. It's the cause. Get out of yourself. Get out of yourself.
Yes.
Connect to the cause.
Yes.
What is the purpose of the relationship? Why is God saying that this is your husband or this is your wife?
We've got to be connected. So, Pastor James, to the women, what does godly pursuit really look like from a man? As a woman that's single, and she is at this place where, because even in the story of Boaz, there was a pursuit
For sure.
of Ruth.
Yeah,
What
for
does a
sure.
godly pursuit look like?
It looks like a man knowing what he wants. It looks like a man knowing who he is. It looks like a man knowing where he's going.
Yeah.
And knowing without a shadow of a doubt, when he sees certain character traits, when he sees the heart, when he sees who you are. See, because what takes place is when God is connecting you to somebody, he removes the scales from your eyes to see the truth, to see who they really are. Am I making any sense? Yeah. And when a man can see, then that makes a man pursue.
Yeah.
Meaning, he's going to approach you. He's going to talk to you. He's going to go after you. He's going to follow hard after.
My God.
Am I making any sense? Am I making any sense? The word cleave, that word cleave. Well, I'm so for a man to leave his mother and father, his wife. For this cause. So I'm sorry, let me slow down. Genesis 2:24, for this cause shall a man leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one. That word cleave literally means to follow hard after. The idea is he sees exactly what he wants. He's not distracted. He's not interrupted. He's not interfered with. And he follows hard after. He grabs her when he catches her, so to speak, and he put all of himself in her so that she can't get away.
Yes, sir.
The two becoming one.
Yeah.
To follow hard after. That's what a pursuit is.
I think with women that we've got to be very mindful that when a man is pursuing you, in the story, Boaz saw Ruth working.
Yeah.
I think for women, we believe that we become the prize based on how we look. Now, I think attraction is so important because we are attracted to one another.
Carnal things.
But the thing is, so many times as women, we are so busy trying to work on our outward appearance for a man to see us. You ever heard the saying like, oh, he has a trophy wife?
Yeah.
What women don't really understand is that beautiful women are everywhere. One woman's beauty does not take away from your own, but this is the thing that you've got to understand. When you really find the one that God has for you, Pastor James, I become your fingerprint.
Yeah.
Meaning that there was no other person like me. Can't nobody talk like me. Can't nobody walk like
Hallelujah.
me. My mindset is different than
Hallelujah.
anybody else. My perspective is different than
Hallelujah.
everybody else. I don't care what anybody else
Hallelujah.
has. They're not me, because it's a fingerprint that God has put on me that has made me your wife. We are so busy trying to be the person on the outward appearance, but when are you as a woman going to become somebody's fingerprint? It doesn't matter about, of course, don't get me wrong, everybody knows hair, makeup, I get all of that, but at the end of the day, when I got my scarf on, when I got my
Hallelujah.
t-shirt
You
on,
still my
I know I
fingerprint.
am your fingerprint. And so when we spend so much time on our outward appearance as being somebody's prize, and then a man finally chooses you based on how you look, you will always feel insecure, because you will always walk in a room and see other beautiful women. So if you only choose me because of how I look, I will always feel intimidated or inferior or feel insecure, because I chose you based on it, because you chose me based on an outward appearance. But when you can go into the room and see, yeah, there's other beautiful women, but man, she don't see it how my wife sees it. She doesn't understand the situation how my wife would. She doesn't know my blind spots like Tiffany does. When you know you become somebody's fingerprint, you become irreplaceable. So I'm not so much worried about who's around me, because I'm so sure of my identity and me being your fingerprint. And so
men, get you a fingerprint, baby.
Mature men understand this. There are things on our journey where only you and I know,
For sure.
only you and I know about it.
For sure.
So it's the late nights where we can burst out laughing in the bed, thinking about something.
Absolutely.
It's the memories and the things that we've endured together in the hard times and the times we've cried together, where nobody can come in and replace those moments, because we become each other's fingerprints.
Yeah, for sure.
And so in marriage, in order for me to really, we're back at the oneness. The prize becomes the oneness of the fingerprint. And you know, from out of all the people in the world, not one of us have the exact same fingerprint. God has made us uniquely, made us different for a way that if we keep concentrating on the outward appearance, ladies, as being the prize, you'll wonder why there are so many other women and why there's so much infidelity. And I'm not saying that's the only reason. I'm not blind to the fact that men will just do what they want to do, but I'm talking to the mature man. When the mature man really knows, man, I got my fingerprint, I got my loyalty, I got my girl. It's in that moment, there is a space where you like, devil, I know the temptations are there.
Ain't no way.
But ain't no way I'm about to have you come down and ruin what we're building.
It ain't a devil in hell about to do that. Right? This costs too much.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure. Now it's time to open it up for questions, babe.
Yeah.
I think this is the appropriate time to open it up for questions. If anybody have any questions, here's the mic. You can come to the mic and you can ask questions. If we have any questions online, you can ask questions online. So
I'm going to go back to, you just mentioned the godly pursuit.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes I've heard things about like men being where, how do I word this? Women say things like, okay, he's lame. He's doing too much.
Yeah.
How does a man pursue a woman but still be at the place where the woman is not looking at him like he is lame or like he's a simp? You know, how do you still pursue in that way as a man that really desires to have a wife?
The number one element in that for a man is you got to have confidence. Mm-hmm. You got to have a type of confidence to say this: I'm going to pursue to let her know I'm pursuing. At the same time, I ain't going to let her think that she's about to become my God.
You're not about to let her think she's about to become your prize.
I'm not. Prize or God, whatever you want to say in the midst of the situation, because you can know. Because the truth of the matter is, I know it's a plethora of reasons why the saying is people play hard to get.
Yeah.
It's a plethora of reasons why a woman may play hard to get, right? But I made a statement on a podcast the Lord gave me, and it ain't coming back to me. But God, I thought it was gonna come back to me. But in a woman's spirit, she knows like the truth of a situation, because women are intuition,
Right.
intuitional, instinctual.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? In your intuition, you know when a man is serious.
Yeah.
Right? But in your emotions, you may get confused a little bit. Right? And so as a man is pursuing, and he's pursuing at a level that you know for a fact he won't me, you need to be mature enough to be able to see his maturity, to know I can't play with this. You see what I'm saying? Like, I really need to talk on this. I need to take this conversation seriously.
Right.
Because it's something different about him than it is about somebody else. And if you play games long enough, and that confidence in that man gonna say, oh, she can't see.
Right. I'm gonna move
And
on.
if he begin to see that she can't see, then he's gonna open up his options. Confidence will make a single man open up his options when he see that you don't have a mature eye.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Am I making any sense?
Wow.
Yeah, this is real talk.
Man,
because the truth of the matter is, a man that got a vision and gifts, talents, and abilities can be broke. And this is how they'll approach a situation, a relationship. Oh, I'm going there with you without you.
Right. Right. Right.
I ain't trying to be arrogant. I'm being honest.
Right.
Yeah, it's something in me that won't allow me to fail.
My God.
And I see something in you that I know you probably be able to add value to it. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, I'm about to add value to you.
Right.
Right? But if I see you got an immature eye, I'm going to say, oh, man, she got potential, but she can't make this a reality.
My God. Pastor James, while you're talking about that, I know we have a question at the mic and one online. Question for you real quick, because this is one of the questions I really want to know your perspective. There is a saying that women should marry men that love them more.
That love them more?
Yes, like there's always been a saying, marry a man that loves you more than you love them. What do you think about that?
I think that's dangerous.
Say that. Okay,
Yeah.
explain that.
Yeah, I ain't taking God out of nothing.
Okay.
For me in my life.
Right.
You might, but I'm not. Yeah, I think you need to know. I think you need to love God more than you love a woman.
Right. No, I'm meaning, of course, that. But so this is the thing when I thought about the pursuit of a man. They are saying that men have a really short attention span compared to women.
Okay.
And that most of the stories that we hear, although we know it not to be 100% true, that most of infidelity is because of a man.
Okay.
But if you marry a man that loves you more than you love him, more than likely that man will be better to you, that man will be faithful to you, that man will be committed to you.
Okay.
Do you believe that to be true?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So when you start talking about becoming one with somebody, and you start talking about maturity and going the long haul, right? The truth of the matter is, seasons kind of like switch and change.
Right.
Meaning that you can love me more in this season, and something can happen. I can love you more in the next season.
Right. Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I think that's a great perspective.
But the other end of the perspective is this. One more time, it's the cause.
Right.
Right? The relationship, right? How we've been put together and who put us together, right? You can never eliminate that part. You see what I'm saying? And so a lot of these conversations and statements come out of the fear of being hurt.
Right.
Again.
That's so true.
Am I making any
That's
sense?
so true.
A whole lot of this is that people are not free enough to make decisions to say, man, if this fall, if this don't happen the way I want, I'm trusting God. If he brought me into one, he'll bring me into another one.
Right.
So a lot of us are going into situations and we got ourselves guarded because we got to protect ourselves from disappointment. Right? Because we are afraid to be hurt. And the fear of being rejected and the fear to be hurt will bring up all these type of conversations and bring up all these statements. Oh, my grandma used to say that.
Right.
My grandma Fanny, she used to say that.
Yeah.
Fool, you better love somebody more than they love you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? She's saying it from the place of what she's experienced.
Right.
And what has she experienced? My granddaddy physically beat her, took her through the ringer, had other children outside of wedlock, all of that. She's talking from a hurt place.
My God.
Yeah, she's 70 years old with a whole lot of wisdom. He's been gone 20 years. She's still hurt.
Right.
And so she's giving advice from that place. Am I making any sense? So you gotta check the messenger.
Absolutely.
Hear the message, but also check the messenger because it may be a spirit on the message. I'm making sense.
I know you are. I think so. Let's move to this online question. My dad always told me to not settle for a 50-50 partner. As a single woman desiring to be married, how do I unpack that with him without coming off like I think I'm the prize, but I know who I am?
Who is she talking to, her daddy or to the
No,
person?
she's saying basically. Read it. My dad always
Yeah,
told me. She's
yeah.
saying that how
Okay.
when she's finally when she
Okay.
meets a man.
Okay. All right.
So this
All
is
right.
I
How does she
kinda-
unpack that? That's
how
the
does
you.
she? Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, told me not to settle for a 50-50 man. So I may be old school, and I'm may not go over well with people, but I don't believe in 50-50.
Yeah.
Pastor James just happened to meet me as a career woman. Well, I am able to bring whatever I bring to the table. But let me tell y'all, there is a season that is coming where I'm going to sit at home and cross my legs up, and I'm going,
Yeah.
you coughing, sir? You need some water? There is coming a season where I will be able to
Yeah.
fully sit back and relax, and it be all on my husband.
Yeah.
I don't think anything is wrong with a man being the sole provider for his family.
No.
And this is the
truth
thing.
of the truth of the matter is, we are wired for that.
Yeah.
And it makes us want to stick our chest out when we do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's just society has brought this whole thing to a whole nother place, and
Right,
times
now-
and roles and all this change. But the truth of the matter is, real talk, every man on the face of this planet, he wish he could move into something where everything on him.
A mature man. We're not
Yeah.
gonna say every man. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say a mature
most
man.
I'm sorry, most men.
Yeah.
Most
but
men. I'm sorry.
what I will say to answer her question, how does she without trying to come off like she's the prize? I want to tell you that when you are dating a man, don't be afraid to put your wants and desires out there. If you're afraid that you tell him the truth, you're going to lose him, well, God bless you, brother. It was nice meeting you. Let me keep it moving. Because there is nothing wrong with a woman saying, hey, I can bring all of this to the table, but it is my true desire that when we have kids, I want to be able to stay at home and raise our babies. I don't want the responsibility of a
sure.
job. There is nothing wrong with you saying that, especially while you are in the dating phase. And to the right man, it's not going to come across the wrong way.
Yeah.
The problem is you may bring it to the wrong man, and he will make you feel as though you are acting as though you're the prize.
Yeah.
But the right man will hear it and be like, you know what, babe? I promise you, I'm
Yeah.
gonna work really hard
Yeah.
to be able to make sure you have the lifestyle that you want to have. And he may
Babe.
not be there yet, but he could be growing in that, and he will literally respect what you're saying.
Miles Monroe wrote a book that transformed he wrote the whole to transform my life. But this one right here transformed my life in another way. Because I never had a father, never had nobody to teach me manhood, never had nobody to lead me and guide me, right? And so I was mentored by Miles Monroe's books. His tutelage taught me how to be who I am today. And he got a book entitled Understanding the Purpose and Power of Man. And he talks about the 6 functions of assignment for a man. He says it is built into the DNA of every man. God himself has deposited inside of the DNA of every man to be 6 things: to be a visionary, to be a leader, to be a cultivator, to be a teacher, to be a provider, and a protector. He went inside of the provision part, right? And he made a statement. He gave a revelation that was so cold, it is scary. He said he had the man cultivating a garden and providing a space before the wife even came out of his side.
My God.
He was so rich in everything that God wasn't even about to create the wife until he could fully provide for her. It's in the DNA. It's in the DNA of every single man to be able to get back to the place called Eden. Do you realize that Jesus came back to the earth to pay the penalty for sin so we can get back to Eden?
My God, my God.
This is when the world began without sin in it.
Right.
When sin entered it, now it changes everything. But it's in the nature of a man to be able to provide, to be able to protect his family, to where there is nothing missing, nothing broken, nothing lost.
I think about culture and how there are so many broken homes and men being raised by women.
Yeah.
So they see their mothers work,
Yeah.
and in their mind, women work.
Yeah, for sure.
There's on the flip side of
Yeah.
that, there are some men that have seen their mothers work so hard
Yeah.
that they want to be able to position their wives in a place where they never have to work that
Absolutely.
hard. I just think that what you just said, that is for a man of God and for a man that is really walking in pure
Yeah.
maturity
Yeah.
to even want to get back to the Garden
And
of
so
Eden.
I'm reading this book at this time, and I'm believing everything it's saying.
Yeah.
So in other words, I can't change my life until I change my belief system.
My God.
So therefore, I'm knowing I got to be a visionary. I believe this because I got the vision. Now it's going to make me the leader.
Right.
And so if I'm really a leader, then I'll be able to teach the vision.
Right.
And if I can teach the vision, I can bring out the best on whoever come to help me build it. It's my assignment through the vision to provide for everybody that's here and to protect this vision. This is in the DNA of how God created every man in his image and after his likeness.
Tell the book name again, because I just feel by the way some of the men need to read this.
Understanding the power and purpose of man. It's life-changing.
Understanding the power and purpose
of
by
a man.
Miles Monroe.
Yeah, and then he came right back and made understanding the power and purpose of a woman.
Yep.
May I submit to you?
Yeah,
Do you know
there.
what he said? He said every woman is created to be a helpmate.
Yeah.
Meaning that you are to help the vision that the man gives you.
Right.
If you come to a man and he don't have a vision, you need to run because you don't have nothing to help. You don't have nothing to build. You don't have nothing. He says not only is she a helpmeet, she's an incubator. What is an incubator? I'm a cultivator. She's the incubator. The incubator is this. I give you the vision as it is. And what you're going to do is take the vision and you're going to give it back to me 100 times bigger than what it was. Am I making any sense?
Yeah.
So in the incubation process, you begin to multiply. You begin to add to. You begin to give us a cause for everything. He says the next thing that a woman is a recreational companion. Yeah. In other words, he needs a man, when in the man's recreational time, she has to be a companion to him while he's having fun. So we can all have fun together, so to speak. Y'all, you're women. You need to go get that too. You need to understand why you created the purpose and power of woman. That life changed, that book changed my life. Question online, question.
Okay, then we have a question over here. Okay. Pastor Tiffany, could you please talk about a man's tone in correction, not yelling or belittling, and how that doesn't make him mean or in disagreement with his wife?
Oh.
So I want to go back to the original scripture, Ephesians 5:28. This is how a man ought to love their wives, like their own bodies. For the man who loves his wife is loving himself. Would he yell or belittle himself? Would he be mean or rude to himself? The way that he's loving you is probably how he loves himself. And so when he does a better job of loving himself, hopefully he'll love you better. I think there goes a way where you can tell me something, but if you are really loving me as Christ loved the church, you're going to wrap it up in a way that is so respectful, that is so loving, and better yet, and I'm being realistic, there will be times where the argument will get superheated, and maybe in that moment you need to take a breather and you need to walk away or take some time before you talk to me. The way and the tone and the spirit behind the way you say something to somebody is constantly at a place that will keep you all disconnected where you're not one. You've got to go back to Ephesians 5:28. The way a man loves himself is the way he ought to love his wife.
I think this person is hit it from this standpoint, because I think they're talking about it from this standpoint. When I give correction to a person, and you give correction to a person in the church, so to speak, it makes a person, when I give it, Pastor James mean he don't know how to talk to nobody, blah, blah, blah. But you can say the exact same thing, right? And they'll accept what you say, but they'll downplay what I say. I think the person is asking you about, because bring the question back up again fully.
They're asking, so just to kind of go where I think that you're going, I'll go back to what it was in life. Many times we are used to being raised by mothers.
Absolutely.
We are used to women, we're raised, fathers aren't in the home. So when a father is not in the home, I hear the voice of a woman and it's a lighter tone. It's a easier tone. Rather than, prime example, when we were little, my mom could tell us things all day long.
Yeah, for sure.
But she would say, when your daddy get home, I'm going to tell me and my sister would tighten up in a way because my dad was the masculine force that came in as the real foundation. I think to answer that, it's not that even somebody is saying something belittling or you're saying it mean. It's just that you are a man and you have a different posture than a woman. So sometimes because your posture is not wrapped up in femininity, if I'm only used to hearing it from a feminine voice, that means that I have a hard time receiving masculinity because that's not my norm. I'm used to being around feminine energy.
And that's the assignment of the enemy, to attack masculine voices and elevate feminine voices and make people put man behind woman and distort the order of God.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
the truth of the matter. You can get mad all you want to
No,
get
it's the
mad.
truth. It's the
It's
truth.
just all it is to it. It's God, it's man, it's woman. And so in society today, when a man say anything however he said, and there is a place of rebellion and not wanting to come up under a man, then a person can easily say, well, I don't like the way they talking to me.
Right.
Uh,
And it's not how you're not talking to them any type of
No,
way.
yeah,
It's just that for
because-
so long I have not had a masculine
Absolutely.
role model or a masculine mentor.
I didn't
or
have a
masculine,
father.
Exactly.
I was
So-
used to a woman's voice.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And so it's
absolutely.
hard to hear masculine.
Yeah.
It's hard to hear masculinity when I've only been hearing femininity.
Yeah, and you just got to put it in your heart. You got a purpose to hear, to not kill the messenger, but pay attention to the message.
Yeah.
Blessings to you, sir.
I have a two-part question.
Okay.
Part one is, how do you know you were prepared for marriage, and what tests revealed that during courtship? And part two is, what's the difference between dating versus courtship?
First one, how do you know?
How do you know you were prepared for marriage, and what tests revealed that during courtship? And the second part is, what's the difference between courtship versus dating?
All right, I'm going to answer the first one first. Can I be honest? I didn't know I was prepared for marriage. This is what I knew. I'm going to be obedient to God. Flat out.
Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is, everybody on our marriage, I was terrified. You remember that?
Yeah, Pastor
Right.
James,
I
you
was
were really scared. You
Terrified.
cried.
Terrified. Go back because I need you to repeat that second question. I was terrified, and I was like, and I really felt like, just being honest with you, I felt inadequate. Felt like I couldn't do it. But in his weakness, in my weakness,
Yeah.
his strength is made perfect. I knew this. I'm afraid, but I'm settled in my heart. I'm going to obey God. So if I'm in that place, I'm pretty much prepared. I just don't know I'm prepared. I'm prepared to obey him. He going to lead me how to do this the right way.
Right.
Are you with me? Second part of the question.
The second part was, what's the difference between courtship versus dating?
Courtship versus dating.
I don't know.
Well, no, it's the thing. I really think courtship and dating is the same thing. I think courtship is the older term, and I think culture has now upgraded it to dating. I can tell you what they should look like when you're really, really serious about somebody. It should look like a priority. It should look like you put some thought into me. It should look like you planned. It should look like you prepared for my arrival. When you were courting somebody or when you were dating somebody, it is in those moments where you are expressing to them who you are as a person. So when you were saying in the moment that you were afraid when we got married, I also wanted you to think about the fruit that you had while you were courting me, while you were dating. You and I, so many times during the courtship of getting to know somebody, getting to date them, we overlook the signs thinking that once we get married, that these things that are bad are just going to automatically be good.
Yeah.
I really believe that courting someone allows you to really get to know them. And I think now dating kind of has the negative sound to it, has a negative sound to it versus courtship, because now dating has become so random. It's become something that we do. It has become so culturally where to the point now I'm not really trying to get to know somebody. I'm really trying to get to know them physically rather than getting to know them like internally. So I think in courting, it's if I'm gonna try to say the difference between the two, courting, you're really getting to know the inward parts of me. You are really trying to get to know me intimately, not physically though. Intimacy meaning that you are getting to know my thoughts, my makeup, who I am as a purpose, who I am as a person, my goals, my dreams, my purpose, all of those things inwardly. You are taking time to plan for me, to prepare for me, to prioritize for me. In dating can be sometimes very casual, where it's just something I'm doing, something I'm dating multiple people at one time. But when I'm really courting somebody, I'm really giving this individual person all of my attention because I'm hoping to build something more with them.
So in other words, you're basically saying that dating is I want to see if I'm ready, but then courting is I'm ready.
See, I still think that the two are very similar. I just think that culture has created dating into something that has made it. I do, because Pastor James, let me ask you this. Do you feel, so when you would tell somebody we got together, you would say that Tiffany and I courted, or would you say that Tiffany and I dated? Because I don't think we've ever used the word courted.
Our situation, is the exception, not
No,
the
no,
rule.
no. But I'm asking, just in conversation, when you would think back of it,
No,
would you
I
use
don't
the
think we
word
dated.
courting?
No, I don't think we dated. I think we courted the entire time.
You're missing what I'm saying. When you would tell somebody that, I'm asking, the word courtship is like an older term that has been
but I'm
used.
saying in today's time, I think it sounds like that what you just explained was dating is I want to see if I want to get ready for you. Then then they make a decision to court, then they take it to the next level. Now I'm ready to go all the way in.
I'll have to look, but I'm saying, I guess in my eyes, because I was a woman that dated with intentions.
Yeah.
My dating and courting didn't really look the same. Didn't really
Well,
look different.
yours could do
because
that.
of that.
Yours
because I'm
could
talking
look
about
different from mine.
Because it's the maturity process of it all. So like, as if I'm mature, I'm dating with intention. If I'm mature, I'm dating one person at this time, hoping that we grow into marriage.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, for my vernaculars, for my language,
sure.
courting isn't really a word that I find myself using often. But to be able to answer the question, I can see how people would want to try to differentiate the word courting and dating.